Good afternoon. This is Lateesha with LateeshaHinton. I'm an astrologer, numerologist, psychic tarot reader, and I am continuing my series today on the North Node in the natal chart. So, the North Node in the natal chart signifies what it is that your soul has come to do during this incarnation. And the North Node stands directly across from the South Node in the natal chart. So the South Node signifies what it is that you have perfected in the past life, what it is that you no longer need to be doing. But the South Node area is the area that is the most comfortable for you. It is easy to stay in those activities of the South Node because they are the most comfortable. You've already perfected it. You could do it with your hands tied behind your back and your eyes closed. You could do it, in your sleep. It's that type of feeling that you have with the South Node activity. What begins to happen is as you get older, you gain no fulfillment from doing the South Node activities that you can do so well. And your soul is crying out and reaching forward to accomplish the North Node activities. So I have covered the North Node from houses 1 through 7. So today we're going to talk about the North Node in the 8th house. So the 8th house is the house that is traditionally ruled by the Scorpio energy, which would encompass the energy of Mars, as Mars is the ancient ruler of Scorpio, and Pluto is the modern ruler of Scorpio. So the energy that is associated with this house is one that is about hidden things. It is about the things that are occult. It is about sharing one's life intimately with another. It is about searching out the deep, the dark, and the mysterious. It has to do with sexual intimacy. It has to do with in-laws after marriage. It has to do with, of course, the occult knowledge, astrology, tarot, all of that, hermeticism, esoteric studies, death, dying, transformation is a type of transformation. You transform from the physical body and become disembodied, transformed from one state to the next. So the 8th house covers all of these areas. It also covers resources from other people that you have. And so the energy of Mars as it relates to the sign of Scorpio is an energy that does lead out. So in the sign of Aries, Mars leads out for sure because Mars is the god of war and also is the ruler of the sign of Aries. But in the sign of Aries, in that fire sign, in that first sign of the zodiac, Mars is very impulsive, quick to move. It's cardinal energy. It thinks, it moves without thinking, it goes forward, it's bold, it's brave. But in the sign of Scorpio, it is bold and brave still, but it is very calculating. It is an internalized fire that you see within the sign of Scorpio. For the sign of Scorpio is a feminine energy. It's associated with feminine energy as a water sign, and the 8th house is a water house. So, differently from the first house, which is a fire house and it is cardinal, so it's just very much out in the open. The water houses are very private and quiet and can be isolated and can feel better in isolation. So the energy of Mars, as it relates to the sign of Scorpio, is just that. So you have an energy that is about forward movement, but Scorpio is a fixed sign. So there is a stubbornness to the sign of Scorpio that will not quit, will secretly plan and plot how to go to war in a way that the Aries energy will not. So the Aries energy is just rushing in, guns blazing, sword out, machete out, swinging violently. But the Scorpion energy is with pen and paper, strategically plotting the ways to enter into the war, when to fall back, when to move forward. It is very calculating and very cunning. So then there is the sign of Pluto, the planet or the asteroid Pluto, that is associated with um, the energy of Scorpio, or the sign of Scorpio. So Pluto is the lord of death and transformation. And it is the higher octave of Mars. So it is a more graduated energy than the energy of Mars. So Pluto can be about pain, it can be about abuse, but it is definitely about transformation. Any contact with Pluto, with Scorpion energy, brings the individual to transformation. So when we have the North Node in the eighth house, it is about transformation. It is about moving one's life towards true intimacy with another. It is about sharing resources with another. So it means that in the past life, if you have the North Node in the eighth house, you had the South Node in the second house, which means in the past life, you focused on the second house things, which is about gaining material wealth, having houses and cars and money saved up. It's about building that which is tangible that you can see, and gaining more and more and more wealth. But in the eighth house, it is about sharing resources. It is about joining your resources with another. It's about becoming extremely vulnerable and opening yourself up in truth to another person, which can be quite challenging for one with the Scorpio energy and with the North Node in the eighth house, because it is very unfamiliar, because the second house energy is still a very young energy when we look astrologically, because the first house is infancy, the second house is toddlerhood. So in toddlerhood, it's still about, this is mine, me and mine. This is my toy. Give me my toy. Don't touch my toy. This is my mommy. I don't want to share. And that is the energy that you have with the second house and Taurus, which is opposite of Scorpio. But as we go around the wheel and we come to the eighth house, it is about the maturity that is called upon to be able to join one's life with another and to truly share it openly, intimately, intermingling funds, intermingling time, intermingling bodies, intermingling passions, intermingling desires. and joining life in such a way that it's more than just sharing. As I talked about, the seventh house is about sharing with someone else and being in a group with someone else. But this is the eighth house is about being vulnerable. It's about allowing an individual to see who you really are, to see the darkest parts of you, and to trust, all caps, to trust that you are safe. Well, Scorpio, the energy of Scorpio is one that is associated with distrust, and it is because those with a lot of personal planets within Scorpio, they know the dark sides that all people have a dark side. They just know that. So because of that, they tend to lean towards distrust of everyone automatically. But it is the highest place to come to when we are able to trust. And it is not just blind trust, but it is trusting in spirit, trusting that the universe and source are leading you and guiding you. And it is trusting your intuition. It is trusting your body. How do you feel? Does this person feel safe? Are they honest? What about their characteristics? Are they a trustworthy person? And with that, allowing yourself to open up and become completely intimate and show who you really are. And knowing that you are safe within the universe. And that is the real goal of having the North Node in the eighth house. So if you have the North Node in the eighth house in the sign of Aquarius, Aquarius is fixed air. And Aquarius is about being able to detach. All of the air signs have this dualistic nature about them where they can detach. But Aquarius, of all the signs, can really detach from emotions. And whereas Scorpio is the sign that is about feeling deeply and needs to feel deeply. So the eighth house energy is about feeling deeply. So you have the sign of Aquarius here. It is about being able to share, because the sign of Aquarius is about the humanitarian nature. It is about friendship. So it is about moving one's life towards humanitarianism in such a way that you are open and honest about your flaws with others. And it may be with more than just one person, because the sign of Aquarius is typically a sign that communicates and talks to and serves the masses. So it is serving. This sign here would have you serving broken people, people who have dealt with maybe abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse, domestic violence, and this sort of thing, and serving them in the masses. So maybe you would be working in a domestic violence shelter and counseling, because the eighth house is also associated with psychology and counseling. So you could be working with these women or men who have been abused by their spouse or their significant other, and able to do it on a great on a great um, on a great level, where you are able to host events where you gather money for these people. You are able to gather counselors together for them to work with these who have been abused. It is using that ability to speak that comes with the Aquarian energy and talk to groups of people, friends, making friends around this particular area, the deep in the dark, maybe even working with children who have been abused in the same sort of arena, or just counseling, doing group counseling, being a group counselor for people who have struggled with a trauma, struggled with drug abuse, drug addiction. So these are some of the areas that um, Aquarius with the North Node in the 8th house could be involved in. But it's definitely going to be involved with groups, working with groups who have been involved in some kind of darkness or trauma. Or it may just be joining a secret society, you know, joining the Freemasons and learning the esoteric as a part of a group. Anything like this could be a part of that journey within the 8th house. So Sagittarius in the 8th house with the North Node there. So if you have the sign of Sagittarius there, this would be about taking a long journey to learn some esoteric or occult knowledge that you could apply to your life. It would be about traveling, meeting different groups of people, learning what their religious beliefs are, and having faith as you make the journey to go and experience um, the esoteric, the deep, the hidden, as you are moving on your journey towards your soul purpose. And with this, because Sagittarius is the preacher, you could be proclaiming the information that you have learned to other people, teaching other people. But if you are moving towards this North Node in Sagittarius in the 8th house, it is about letting go of what it is that you learned in your community and that you held so close to your heart as truth, and going the complete opposite way as far as religion and spirituality is concerned, and learning something that is deep and something that is taboo, and gathering that information from different cultures and different people and different times, and gathering it together and grappling with it and coming to capital T truth for yourself. And again, sharing what you have learned with other people. And it is about being very honest with other people and very honest with yourself. That is what the North Node in Sagittarius is calling for, to be very honest, not leaving out information and not telling half truths and partway lies. Okay, so this has been the North Node in the 8th house. Again, my name is Lateesha. You can find me on Instagram at LBHinton1MS. And you can find me at my website, LateeshaHinton.com. You can email me, contact@LateeshaHinton.com. If you are in the Dallas, Texas area, I do readings face-to-face. If you would like to have a reading with me to find out where your North Node is and what it means for your life, we can have a phone reading. We can have a reading by Skype. I would love to talk to you. And if you are listening to this on YouTube, please leave me a message about how you are working with your North Node in the 8th house, and I would love to just communicate with you about it. And let me know what sign it's in. If you have any questions or anything, just let me know. And thank you so much for listening.